Greetings, most honorable listeners and masters of the martial arts. I am Travis.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Big
And
Los.
this is CTE, and this is going to be an experience for you. And if you didn't know, we are sponsored by the Virtual Fight Tour. And coming up February the 4th is BFT Grudge Match, where we will see a grudge match between Thomas Wright and Trey Lazenby. We'll be going head to head up. And if you guys did not know, they don't like each other. It's going to be very entertaining. They're going to go out there and try and beat each other's butt. So make sure you guys get the tickets as soon as you possibly can. Don't wait till the last minute. Get them now. All right. And on January 28th, we are going to be, I am going to be in the Arctic Challenge, as well as a lot of other people in the Midwest going to be kicking it off because they're going to be this weekend at the AKs, and they're going to come out there and test out their skills in the rest of the Midwest, Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Windsor, Illinois, and possibly Pennsylvania. They usually come out as well. So it's going to be a lot of people out there. Make sure you guys, if you're in the Midwest or if you just want to come in, fly in and compete, go to the Arctic Challenge in Warren, Michigan on January 28th. Chris Los, how are you gentlemen doing this weekend? Los, I want to hear about your weekend because you was out learning, getting that business knowledge.
Growing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
I was asking, man, did you? I was at Busch Gardens a couple of weeks ago, so I had to feed the giraffes. So I was wondering if you got out there and you went out there and fed the giraffes and saw all that.
And honestly, Trav, I really did not have time, bro. Like everything was like locked in as far as the stuff that we had to do. So like we were in there. We start at 9:00. We're not getting done till like 6:37. So besides like a lunch, maybe like an hour lunch, didn't really have time to go do that.
Now, I saw you had your son with you. What was that experience? Was that his first time going to something like that with you?
Yeah,
and actually going and seeing how the
business. Yeah, I've always wanted to bring him. I just felt that he was too young. Like the few years that I had went. And there's a lady from Illinois. She had brought her son, and he was probably say maybe it's James right now. And I just thought it was like really cool. And I was like, man, like I want my son to be able to just come and like just experience, like like kind of see the bigger picture of what I'm doing and what I'm trying to, create for not just us, but for, just people in our community and what we're like the bigger picture behind what we're doing. So that was really cool. And then he got to go up on stage and be like one of the demonstrators for like one of the things they were trying to show. And they actually brought me up on stage to talk about like my success, and there was like 700 people there, right? So it was like,
so you got to stick your chest out, like, yeah.
Well, it was
cool. Dad.
Because honestly, part of the reason why they brought me up, because we have these coaching calls, and one of the things that we talked about was like my priority being my kids and not try not to miss their activities. We talk about it all the time here, right?
Right.
So one of the things that we talked about was they wanted me to kind of talk about how it's not just after school and summer camp. It's really about your whole person, right? And my priorities being my kids, I had to structure my business around my priorities. And since I did that with the tutelage of them and them helping me through it, our business is still growing and we've still been able to grow, but I'm also able to make more of my kids' events as opposed to, being locked into just the karate side of the karate school and stuff. So they brought me up and I got to speak on that. And it was cool because when I spoke on it, they had me do it. He was in the room. So it's like, my oldest son, I miss a lot of his stuff at a young age because I was so locked into trying to grow the business, trying to do everything's based on, I got to have karate numbers. I got to have these numbers. I got to have that numbers, as opposed to really trying to focus. Now I shifted that mindset and focused my business around my family and trying to make that work. So it was cool, man. It was good. It's always good stuff. Again, I know we're not sponsored by them, but if anybody's looking to reach out to them, let me know. And I'll share what works for me. You know who's with them? Henry Ruiz.
Oh, yeah.
Henry is. Jeremy Rogue was with them.
Did you see them there?
I see Henry, right? I see Henry all the time. I didn't see Jeremy. Jordan Palin was there. Ski just came on. Ski was there.
He was there this weekend?
Yeah. So it was cool, man. It was good,
We're gonna get into all that business talk in a little bit. Because that's one of the topics we got. But Chris.
Yeah.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was pretty chill, man. We on Saturday, I went down and celebrated my little sister Coral. She had her 10th birthday, so we went
Where were
down
you at?
there. We went to Valdosta. We met in the middle. My mom came up, and her and Coral came up, and then we went down. That's why I ended up missing out with you and
That's
not
why I'm
getting
like,
out
yo,
with you.
Chris, like, come on. I was
I
like, hey,
know,
look,
I know,
man.
I know. I knew you was gonna give me a hard time about that. I was
I
waiting
look.
for it.
I was like, man,
They
Chris
right here.
don't.
He's like, I got them right here.
Chris, yeah, I do. I got the bag. I got the bags. I was like, Chris,
I
don't
know.
even mess with me no more, man. Dang, I was just waiting.
Man, I do. But then we did that, and then ended up getting back, and we ended up doing a Sunday sparring, and then did some jujitsu. That's about it. And the family time, man. You know, I mean,
Oh, of
that's
course.
number one.
Priority. Like
Los,
Los was just
yeah.
talking about priorities, guys. You gotta
You
have
know,
Right.
it's funny, man.
priorities.
It's always
There's a gap of time where we take that for granted. Like, you know what I mean,
right.
I don't know what my light switch really was, but there was a lot. I think honestly, I'll tell you, I think my light switch was my oldest daughter, right? Because my youngest son, he was in a karate school with me. You know, I took him tournaments, I did all type of stuff. She never really got involved like that. Like, you know what I mean? Then my other two, they live with me. So I have all this time with them. You know, not that I don't try to make it, but for her, she doesn't live with me, and I didn't have all, so like she was primarily like my main focus. Like, if she would be like, Dad, can you come to my soccer game, or Dad, can you come to my baseball game or my softball game? And it's at like 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Did she say something to you that was like, I'm messing up? Like that, like, not that I hate you, Dad, you know, but it's more like, dang, Dad, I really wish you could have been there.
Want me to tell you what she said? I'll tell you what she said. This is honestly, bro. I think I cried when I read it. She asked me to come to one of her games, and I said, T, you know I can't come tonight because I have A, B, and C I have to do at the karate school. And she just texted me back, okay.
Okay. And that was and so you knew at that point, like, I'm losing her. I'm losing her.
That was that okay.
Because
I said I can't, because I have to put this I have to put this before you. You know what I mean? Like, it was like one of those, like, we already talked about it. You know my schedule. You know what's going on. I had to let go of one of my main staff members or something like that. Like, you mean, it was like, so it was a lot happening. So me kind of like saying like it's not fair, because, you know, I want to be there. Like, you know what I mean? But I can't because I got all this stuff going on. And she was just like, okay. And I said, at that moment, like, nah, this has got to change.
And so I'm thinking you didn't make it that day.
I didn't make it that day.
But then the next time you made sure you.
I do everything in my power to try to make it. And then now, again, for my youngest son, you know, he's doing a lot of, like, you know, baseball, and just he's doing well with it too, right? So I want to be there to see him, because I missed all of James, like, you know what I mean? Because I was so caught up in the other stuff. If it wasn't on a weekend, I could never make it.
Yeah.
Right.
So your oldest daughter, is this the one running track?
Yeah.
Okay, because you just posted something last week, and I was like, oh shoot, she's running track. Okay, all right.
Yep. Yeah. But again, that's like, it's at 5 o'clock, right? She had one track meet. It was like 4 o'clock, but it was like an hour and 15 minutes away. Guess who was there though? You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, this is what I got to do. Like, everything else, I have people in place. You guys knock it out, and this is what we're going to talk about when we get into later. You know.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how it works. I'm sorry, Chris. I didn't mean to take over you, bro. But yeah, that's
no.
That's good stuff. I think that was really what hit me, Travis, when she hit me with that okay.
Man.
Okay. That okay, like, it broke my heart, bro.
Yeah. Wow. That's the way we start the pod off this week, people.
Right.
We're getting deep on y'all these
I get real sometimes, man, when we get to this type stuff, bro.
Like, well, see, that's
you have to.
Well, that's the thing. I was going to say real quick, and I'll let you go, Chris. I was just going to say that I wanted to change the format of this show where we're not just talking about sport karate, because I know people want to talk about that, but a lot of the times it's the same thing over and over again. We're gonna complain about what ref did this, or what tournament promoter did this, who's not looking good, who did that, and then it just gets to the point where it's like, okay, but it's more to that goes into this. even as we had that conversation about prep, about how you're supposed to be prepping to get better.
Yes.
And we were throwing
Yes.
scenarios out last week that I like those type of conversations. So if you want to hear more of that type of stuff, that's where we were going. I'm just letting you guys know that we're still going to get and talking to people about, what's going on in the sport karate world, but it's going to be a lot more different conversations, more real conversations, more impactful conversations I want to have. I don't want to just have those same conversations. We've been, this is our 4th year doing this. This is our 4th year of doing this. So I want to get more, make bigger, more of a difference in what we're talking about. Chris, go ahead.
No. I was saying Los, it's good that you talk like that because there's a lot of people, probably including myself, who are looking to find some of that knowledge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Got to find the work-life balance. How do you push through things? And if you've been there and done that beforehand, listen.
Yeah, the thing is like one thing that resonated with me as well, and this is kind of going back to group that I'm with. As you guys know, I do a lot of personal development, all type of stuff. But it was like people always talk about, I got to take care of the business. I got my business life, and then I got my family life, and then I got this other life. You only have one life, right? You only have one life, and with that, you have to prioritize what is that number one most important thing. And if it's health, you know what I mean? It's family, it's your religion, whatever it is, you got to prioritize that, and that has to be one of the things that you do. Like, you know what I mean? And like you have one life. Like you have one life. There isn't a karate life. There isn't my karate world and my business world and this world. Nah, man, you got one world. You have one life. Make the most of it.
I'm trying to.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
Yes, sir, Travis. Yes, you are, my
friend. As much as I possibly can.
You go on and then keep enjoying that.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
as long as I possibly can.
Just make sure you set up that main game business trip to Puerto Rico.
Actually, look, man, if we have this good year, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, we're gonna have a main gang trip. As long as everything goes over well this year, we will be doing a main gang trip. I'm
awesome.
Dead serious. I want to do that because actually somebody asked me this a couple days ago. She was like, when was the last time you took like a guy's trip? And I was like, that wasn't associated with a wedding. And she was like, yeah. I was like, 07? Like literally, it's been 07 since I've taken a guy's trip. Like it just doesn't happen. Most of my travel was because of karate. And I mean, I've gone on my own now because of last year. Like the last 2 years, I've just been traveling like skip it. But yeah, but as far as a guy's trip, we always, whenever we get together, we always say it.
Right.
But we never actually do it. So it's like, okay. Yeah. But because I think I asked you guys that same question. You guys were like, yo, it was Ray's wedding. And it was like, yeah. It was like,
yeah.
I don't know. Let me tell you. But yeah. All right. So let's what? Oh, y'all just never mind. I'm not gonna get into that. Nope.
We're good to go, sir.
All right, people.
Puerto Rico
is a different climate from what we're about to talk about now, which is this upcoming weekend. We're gonna talk about AKAs, right?
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the AKAs coming up this weekend. It's important for people to get out to the right stand. I was not there last year. Chris, you were there last year.
Yes.
Right. Were you there 2 years ago?
No, I was there. Jeez.
This is last year. Darren won. Were you there when Darren won the World Cup?
No, I was there. I was there. Shoot, 2020 maybe. I think that was the last year we were there. We got our pictures.
Yes. Actually, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it was 2020. That was definitely 20. That was 2020. I'm trying to think. Was I here last year? Did I go last year? I don't think I went. No, I know I didn't go last year. But I'm trying to think. Did I go in 2021? I don't remember. Anyway, no, it might have been 2020. I don't know, man. Yeah. Look, anyway.
I think mine was 2020.
Yeah. I mean, it's a NASCAR World event. It's
Where they got the NASCAR banquet, right?
they do have the NASCAR
The
banquet on
year or
Thursday.
whatever thing.
Yeah. So if you got enough points, you won the world title.
Right.
I know a lot of people who don't really like that. I
Don't really care.
well, I mean, it's like, yeah. I mean, I don't really. I'm not really, caring about it. But it's just, it reminds me of it's an old way of doing something,
Correct.
right? Like it's something that was done back in the day, but now it just doesn't. It's like, oh, we've always done it this way. Let's continue doing it. I think they should come up with a different, at least a different point system. I don't think if you got third at every event that you should win it.
Still
But
get first. Right.
yeah, I mean, but
Do you mean like Super Grands?
they need to do something. I don't know what it would be, but they need to do something. Now, I think that would be beneficial. But I think the way Super Grands did it was a smart way. But yeah,
regionals and then like doing things like that.
yeah, it was. I think they had a better structure than NASCAR did, but it just is what it is. NASCAR had
What I love
better
about the NBL too, though, is all you had to do is go to a regional,
get qualified,
and then you had to lose twice.
and then you go to.
You didn't want to go in as a wild card? What you mean?
Huh?
You want to go in as a wild card?
Nah, because you lose once, it's a wrap.
I've
lost a couple. I've lost a couple of matches at NBL. But I never lost twice.
Right.
You mean I never lost twice? So I got snuck on a couple of times, but I never lost twice. But I came in as a regional, like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like, yeah, I wasn't doing the wild card thing. You did the wild card thing? That was your thing?
Who?
Nah.
I did it once in 2020. I mean, 2002.
Okay.
In 2002, I did it and won. And I did the wild card, but I was always seeded when I did it in 2099 when I fought in Super Grands.
I think the only time I had a national seed is when I was with I think I had when I was with Bears Best, because that's we used to do the national events out there.
Yeah,
so I always had a seat there, but we only did like 3, so I had like a low seat. So like all the guys from like Guatemala and some of the other places, they always had like higher seats because they were going to Texas and whatever else. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I finished 99 my first year, #1 overall seat.
Oh, that's what's up.
And then
I don't think I've ever been that.
I completely essed the bed that day. That was yeah.
He said that was the year.
Oh
we
my
talking about
god!
this.
Yeah, we talked about it. It was dude. Like, I was the #1 overall seed, and the #2 overall seed was Jason, right? And then there was a person who was in the wild card went and destroyed everybody getting up to Jason. It was Trevor, so he destroyed everybody. Got up to Jason, lost to Jason. So then me and Jason had to fight. Jason won by 1. I was mad because how he did it. This was back when they did the you can't touch your fighter. Because I was down 1. It was 7. I think it was 7-6. And so I was like, all right, well, my uncle was like, how you gonna score? We called timeout. And I was like, all right, cool. Got back in there. And since I'm down, it's like 3 seconds. I just start raise my leg and just go, try to blitz. He just backed up and then caught me with a sidekick. And I looked over and it said 8-7. I was like, they messed up the score, man. It said 8-7. My uncle was like, nah, they gave you a point. So what you mean they gave me a point? He's like, well, Conroy touched Jason in the timeout. So you got a point. I didn't know this. I definitely wouldn't have tried to push and just overextend. Yeah.
Right. If I'd have known it was tied, I would have strategically.
I would have been a little bit more cautious on trying to figure it out. But I just kind of like, it didn't make a difference. So just go all out. But yeah, so he ended up winning that. So now I'm in my head. Trevor goes through everybody again. Now, as juniors, this is the first time me and Trevor fought as adults. I had beaten Trevor every year except for one time, and that's because I got disqualified. And the rest of the time, I had always beaten Trevor. So I'm not thinking it. I'm like, all right, it's Trevor. I'm just gonna beat him. Trevor hit me with everything in the book. So it was just like, I was like, I don't know. He's throwing stuff at angles. I don't even know what the heck is happening. I'm just all off. and he just destroyed me. And so now I got to fight for third. I'm not even thinking about this. I'm like, yo, what has happened? I lost for third. Like literally, like this is. I'm like, I didn't lose all year, and then I just, it was just wasn't my day.
Fell apart.
I just fell apart. Like it was just crazy. So yeah, and that was the year Damon came back on Brian Plimple on the on stage for the title because Brian didn't have a loss and Damon had a loss, and Damon beat Brian Plimple twice on stage, and it was like, oh, okay. And then of course Los was on there just killing everybody. I remember like,
that was Bay Area's best, I think, that time too.
Yeah, he was Bay Area's best. I was like, oh, this dude, man, like out here killing this dude. But yeah, nah. So yeah, that. But I had a question for you guys. I'm just curious. Who do you think had better cities, NASCA or NBL? As far as just having a going to that
diversity goes to NBL. No,
definitely diversity.
No question. So I mean,
but when you stop and think about it, who had better?
I think NBL had better because they had San Jose, they had Oregon,
they had all of the Bay Area stuff,
Texas ones. They had
but y'all missing it. They had New Orleans, they had Atlantic City.
That's what I'm saying. Like
they had Vegas. Yo, they had some cities that you can go to for a tournament and like, yo,
enjoy yourself,
like,
or at least be able to have some clout and say you went there.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I went to Minnesota.
I went to Rhode Island. Like, yeah, okay, all right. It's not the same. It's not the same, right? Like
DC is cool. DC,
New York.
I went to South Carolina.
DC, but they had DC, New York, Atlanta. Are we saying compete is LA?
No.
It's Ontario, so it's it's not really.
Orlando and Miami are good cities.
Miami, Orlando, yes. For kids, yes. Adults, yeah, but it's still Disney. It's still Disney. So yeah, they still has that. That carries like that carries. Right. I'm just curious as far as that goes, but so who would you say? Because you got Atlanta, New York,
it's
DC,
still NBL.
Miami, Orlando. That's still some hard hitters. But now you got to go up against Atlantic
Vegas,
City,
New Orleans,
New Orleans.
But San Jose. Frisco, no.
We had Pacific Jewel, and then they had the other one.
That was in Oregon.
That was in Oregon.
That was dope, man. Like we went there, man. That was.
I'm thinking San Jose, but yeah. They didn't have anything really. They didn't have a big tournament. They had Galveston. They didn't have Houston. Not Galveston, but they had something else, but not El Paso. They had El Paso. They had El Paso and then South Carolina. So there was like, yeah. Oh, then NASCA. Well, both of them had in Chicago. So
yep, at different times.
Yeah, at different times they both had Chicago. So it's like, yeah, bluegrass. But yeah, I was just curious. Yeah, I was just curious. Like, which one do y'all think had the better actual cities to go to? Anyway, you guys got a Chicago story, aka story?
I remember when we was on SES and they had the continuous for WKS, SKF, whatever it was. I had to fight that big dude. He thought he was just gonna beat me up.
Where was he from?
I think he was from Chicago.
I was about to say, I think I know who you're talking about. I
big tall dude.
Yeah.
Man, he hit me one time. I was like, oh, all right, that's what we're doing. big. A right, left, roundhouse hit, boom. Coach was like, Los. Like, nah, man, we're not doing that.
Hey, look, you're not gonna hit. It's Chicago, man.
Too, right? It was continuous. So it was like, you just beat me up. Like, that's not happening. Like,
no, one of the ones I always liked was I remember Preston fighting Larry. Look, Preston was winning, and Larry decided he's like, "You're not gonna embarrass me in my city." He base leg swept Preston. He kicked him low. He started. You're not gonna embarrass me. You might win this fight, but you're not gonna embarrass me in my own city. And he just, buddy, he tore off on him on that one. So, but yeah, that was one. my uncle won it in '99 and refused. They tried. He was against Jason. They were trying to give it to Jason. He was like, "No, I'm not getting off the stage. Y'all gonna fix this score. That's not happening." He just stood in the middle of the ring and told him, like, "Nah, y'all fixing this. Y'all not gonna have this happen. No. That was hilarious because I was sitting there like, "Can you do that? Can you make them change the score? Like, I ain't never seen this before."
Gangster.
I was like, "Oh, geez." And so he made them change it. But yeah,
And they did. That's crazy.
yep. Oh, they definitely did. And then they went in overtime, and then my uncle beat Jason. But yeah, that one, and then I think it was the one Jotty was there who ran through, like, just embarrassed Larry, and no, it was Brian. I think it was Brian Ruth who beat the crap out of Jason. I think it was '98. I think it was '98. Brian Ruth just destroyed Jason and Larry and everybody else in Chicago. I was like, "Ooh, he killing people right now. It's nasty." But yeah, no. But it's always been it's always that, and seeing the colorful characters of Chicago to come out. They've always been interesting. It's always been funny to me to just to watch them and how they interact.
Right.
But yes, people, Martial Arts Internet Network will be in the building this weekend. We will have a booth. We will be there.
Oh, you have a booth.
We have a booth, man. We have a booth.
Uh-huh.
Spoke to Sharky. Yeah, I spoke to Sharky this past weekend. So we have a booth. So make sure you guys stop by. We will be revealing the website. The new website will be launching. Number one. We have apparel that we will be selling.
Yeah.
Some dope designs. Chris and Los, they've seen them. They've seen the different designs they have. Really good stuff that we're going to be doing. So that helps fund us in our forever quest to increase and make our sport better, to raise it to the next level. So, and with that, make sure you guys stop by. Some of the people that have supported us, I will have some apparel for you while we're there. So make sure if you've been with us for a long time and you supported us, make sure you stop by the booth, and I got something for you. I have a list of everybody who I probably should reach out to them and let them know. But yeah, I'll do that. I'll reach out to those people. Like, hey, look, I got it. I got something for you. Make sure you stop by.
People just showing up like, yo, I support y'all guys.
Yeah, and we're like, yeah, thank you for keep supporting us. Buy one of these shirts. Support us this way as well. Yo, y'all like, actually, I showed some design. I showed the t-shirts to some people, and they literally was like, "Oh, that's dope." And were asking more about it and wanted to buy the shirts. I was like,
"Oh, dope."
They asked, like, you got this type of size? You got the cut that does this, and I'm like, we're not there yet. We got to order those shirts, but yeah, it's coming. So we're gonna be there, and I can't wait for you guys to see everything that we're gonna be doing this year. It's gonna be a big year for Martial Arts Internet Network. And with that being said, Los, you ready for this topic?
Yeah, let's jump into it.
All right. So, my brother Eugene, if you haven't watched Fish Kicks and Flicks, go to watch Fish Kicks and Flicks. He was by the house today, and I was sitting here talking to him, and he asked me, did I know a guy by the name of Grant Cardone? I think that's his name, right? Isn't that his name? Yeah. I did not know who this guy was. And he was like, what? You don't know who this is? I'm like, nah, I actually don't know who this guy is. And the guy was like, it was a person of martial artists went to one of his things, and they basically were saying that the average cost for martial arts schools is around $150 per month, right? And he was saying that, hey, y'all don't charge enough. You guys should charge $300 a month. And Los asked me a question. He said, that was your cue to jump in and ask the question, Los.
So is he wrong?
Right. He said, is he wrong? Because I was sitting there, it was like, well, my brother was like, there's no way, nobody in Detroit is paying $300 a month for.
Does anybody in Detroit own a pair of new Jordans?
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Does anybody in Detroit own a pair of Jordan 1s or whatever?
Oh, I'm sure they do. Yes.
Anybody in Detroit own nice chains, good expensive clothing?
PS5s, Xboxes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Continue. Was he wrong?
Was he wrong? There is a difference between.
Can you hear that ding?
I do hear that. I don't know what that is. Is that
That's me. I'm trying to. It's on my computer. I'm trying to figure out how to stop my WhatsApp
Is it
from
telling?
going off.
Oh, I was about to say. I thought it was telling you that hey, you about to die already.
It's by the die on us already. Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, but no. You got to close WhatsApp altogether, I think, and just say hey, look, sign out, or then sign
Off
back
my
in. Your
off
laptop.
My laptop.
Yeah.
Then I got to re-download it later.
No, you don't delete it, brother. You just
sign off.
Sign off.
Just quit it.
Yeah, quit it. And hopefully you don't get the notifications, but that might work. But all right. Yes. So my brother was like, yo, look, nobody's paying $300 a month for martial arts lessons, number one.
In Detroit.
And Los asked, is he wrong? And I was saying that it's a difference between value and money, in the sense that value does not equal money, in the sense that people who can afford $300 a month are looking at it differently. Like, right. So like, I'm looking at it from the standpoint of somebody who's like Grant Cardone.
I believe that. God, I'll let you finish. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Thank you, please. Sure. Grant Cardone is looking at it, and he's $300 a month is nothing to him. So he's like, yeah, that's easy. But somebody who's making $50,000 a month is looking at $300 a month. That's a little high to be continuously paying that every month. Now, if you do it once, which goes to your Jordan thing of somebody paying it once as opposed to paying it over every month. They don't buy Jordans every month, and I think some people are. They in a different tax bracket. They might be doing. You know what I mean, they might be doing something else. Like they just make.
Or they reselling them.
Yeah, most people who can afford it aren't buying Jordans every month, but it is what it is. So, but it's a value of perceived value. One is
perceived.
Yes, perceived value of you have to do more than just somebody has to teach that karate class. You have to provide a certain level of service that gives them they make them want and see a value in it, and that's what you have to sell them to, right?
So you don't think anybody in Detroit can sell that type of value?
That's a broad statement. I will never make broad.
That's what you just said.
No. I said. You said
in order for someone to charge that price, they have to have a location, an establishment that represents that value.
So that's not saying that nobody can do it. I'm saying that there are certain things that come along with it in order for doing it. And if somebody is not able to do those things, then you're not going to be able.
You're not charging $300.
You can't charge $300.
But is he wrong?
Like I said before, I don't think he's wrong, and I don't think he's right.
So you're on the fence?
No, I'm saying that.
So as in all things in life, he's saying it depends.
Right. Like if somebody is in Beverly Hills, they can charge $300 a month. If somebody is in Troy, Michigan, there's a possibility they could charge $300 a month. Like it's the people out there, the demographics there. You don't put certain business. You don't put any business. You like they always say the number one thing is location. Mm-hmm. You can't charge just because somebody out there is charging it. That doesn't mean that everybody in this area can afford that service. Mm-hmm. It just is what it is. Like that's just business. So you can charge $300. You can charge $5,000. And if you got one person who's willing to pay it, you probably making more than you were, with 30 students then, or whatever the case may be. It just is what it is. Like it. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, Los, go ahead.
Oh, I gotta go.
Okay, Chris, go ahead. The question, I guess, is
he wrong?
Is he wrong? We'll start there. Is he wrong?
Like I said, it depends. I agree with that statement. in the right areas with the right things, no, he's not wrong. In some of these other areas, yeah, that's probably not going to help you keep on your doors open. I mean, there's a lot that goes into that and behind that, but I mean, in broad statement, that would be it. Lowe's looking at us like he ain't wrong.
No, you guys are right. You guys are right. You guys are right.
No, we're not.
I don't know. Listen, I don't know.
You just can't.
You know what? You cannot charge $300 a month for martial arts. You just cannot. Like, there's no way.
Nobody's saying that.
Charge it. Nobody's
saying that, Lowe's.
Nobody can pay that in a area that is not affluent. Right? That's what we're saying, right?
I'm saying that doesn't support it. I didn't say it was affluent.
Right. It's probably the more of the average than the exception. I'm sure there are exceptions.
In DC, you can charge. You can get away with that, and it doesn't mean that they're necessarily affluent area, but it does mean that the median income allows you to charge that. And if some places don't, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I can see people charging $300 a week for something else, but the value of strictly martial arts training and not offering something else with it. That's why, let's be realistic. That's why a lot of people are doing the day camp. I mean, the after school camp. You can charge more money because there's a set quota that that I'm not even say set quota, but there is a market that has set a price for these after school camps. Right. And so you're supplementing not just the after school camp with your karate school. So you got two ways of getting income here, as opposed to just the one way of getting income. But now you got two. And they're willing to pay for more because you're doing another service with that, as opposed to just only charging for martial arts lessons. Now, I'm sure people upsell all the time. Let me turn this ringer off. Anyway, I'm not gonna say what that ringer is, but but
just did.
I didn't say anything. I just said I'm not gonna say what it is. But anyway, I'm lost here. Chris, come talk.
He lost himself in the bat line.
I did. I lost myself there. I'm like, dang, it's back. What time is it? Anywho, how do you? Okay, since you guys both run martial arts schools, how do you price your school? Set your prices.
I set my prices within what ideally I want to preface this for as in general. I look at what our area is kind of doing, and I try to be.
What do you mean?
Like what our area is charging for karate martial arts.
Okay.
We're talking about martial arts, right? So I try to look at
what talking about just martial arts. Okay.
Just martial arts. If it's just martial arts, I try to look at what our area is charging, and I try to be, if not higher, a little bit higher, or within the same highest whatever the highest ballpark is.
So right? How do you call them act like a customer to get their price?
You kind of have a idea.
How? You psychic?
People come in, they tell you what they either different locations, different areas, and what they got the information from, and you just kind of take that in.
So if somebody comes in,
shop people.
So I'm just curious. So if somebody comes in and tells you that Joe Blow is is charging $50 more a month than you are,
I'm going to start bringing mine up to get closer to what Joe Blow is.
When do you bring yours? Are you going to bring it up right in that meeting? And be like, yeah, we charge the same thing.
Over time.
Over time.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm the only one.
Let's go back really quick. Go back to the $300 a month thing.
Yeah.
If I was running my program myself, and we talked about my priority, right? Mm-hmm. if I'm running a program myself, I've decided that if that was the case, I will charge $300 a month for me to come on the mat and teach the classes every day, all day. That's what I'm charging, because it has to have something that's, because it's taken away from my family for me to be there on a regular basis every day. So that is what I would charge if it was me. Now I know that at that price, I won't have, the 150 to 200 people that we have. That may drop down to 100, but 100 at 300 is still about 30,000. Like, you get what I'm saying? And that is probably close to what somewhere that you'll bring in. Is that right? The right number? 100, 300? No, that's not. What is that? What is that a month?
I know exactly how much it is. I'm just gonna let you spin your wheel right here.
I'm getting my damn calculator.
Yes, it's 30,000, man.
Okay. Well, what I'm saying, but even at 20 to 25,000, if you're charging $300 a month, and let's say you only have 75 or however many, like, you mean, like, I can do at 50 people, I can do 15,000 a month. Like, you mean that at $300, 50 people is easy. That's not hard at all. You get what I'm saying? So 75 would be easy, and I think 100 wouldn't be that hard to do either. So if I was to come back and have to do it myself, being that you have me every day, I feel I have that value.
So let me ask. They got 18-0. So let me ask this question.
That's a losing number too.
What, 18?
Yeah, that's 3 touchdowns, and Tom Brady is very capable of pulling it off.
This is true, and that would just be terrible for the Cowboy fans.
All of them,
yeah, not go at halftime, y'all up, and then just Tom Brady just throws 3 touchdowns and that's it. And he could do that in the quarter.
It's Atlanta all over again.
He could do that in the quarter. Let's just be realistic.
Yeah.
Anyway, with that being said,
yeah.
I forgot dang it. What were we talking about again? No, I was gonna ask, how would you feel losing the students? Because this is what my brother was talking about. He said, yeah, you're running it like a business, but the emotional attachment you have towards your students, and you end up losing a lot of these students, and just keep basically the ones that can afford it. How would you feel losing those students? Because we do have an emotional connection to those students. How would you feel losing them? Not just losing a couple, but you going from 200 to 75. You just lost 125 people that looked up to you, that you were a role model to, and now you just like, yeah, your parents ain't making enough money or whatever. Get out my face, broke kid.
Yeah, it comes to that okay again.
But on which
reason?
How much am I willing to sacrifice
on my end
to have that okay? What is that worth? Like, you know what I mean? So that's so again.
So are you saying?
So what happens is we as martial artists and as coaches and instructors, people quit us all the time. And we are never allowed to quit people, because if we quit people, we're the bad person. Right. So as you say, like, you lost all these people and yeah, that is tough that you have to kind of go through. That's a process that you have to come to the decision and really be able to grasp and say, this is what we're going to do. Right. But people quit us all the time. But the minute that we make a choice that is best for us and what we want to do for our family, we become the bad person. But when you decided to leave us, you did that what was best for you at the time. Chris, do people quit you?
Yep.
Are you allowed to quit people?
No, never.
Wait.
You feel like you.
Well, I say y'all know y'all kicked some people out of y'all school before.
That's not what I'm talking about.
That's not the same. So their behavior has asked themselves to be exited from the program. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But that's not on me.
And it's not that my people that I have are not still teaching good quality. Like, it's not that I'm not there, but right. I don't have to be locked in. Like, I was able to be in Florida since Tuesday. Like a few years ago, that wouldn't have happened. I would have been like, I can't leave. I got to stay here, because the people need me.
Yep.
do you? I guess because you don't leave a lot, do you? You don't leave and be away from the school a lot. You're still there.
Mhm.
Let's say the majority of the time,
Mhm.
right? Like I remember the switch at my uncle's karate school of when SES became SES and we started traveling every weekend, or we were going to tournaments all the time, and he went away from he was at the karate school. I could see a little bit of a switch where the enrollment would drop, and then we started doing kids kicking cancer, enrollment dropped even more, because you took the head away. Basically, he wasn't there as much. And
I mean, our program has dropped since I haven't been there.
okay, that's what I was about to ask.
That. Like I know
yeah.
that for sure. Like, I mean, and so that's what I'm saying too. Like, if our program has dropped with me not being there, if I come back, I'm coming back at a higher value,
Mm-hmm.
or a higher, rate that you may have to pay because of what I have to sacrifice.
So, do you think you would be okay with it if you did not have children?
As far as what I charged?
Yeah, like the whole thing that you've been basing this around is that the okay. Like you saw how your daughter felt when she said okay, and you said, okay, you know what? That is more of a priority than the school. I shouldn't say that. That relationship, she is more important in my kids. But if you didn't have children, do you think you would still be a workaholic like you were before and not have to because
Yeah, I probably would.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because I wouldn't have that other thing that's pulling me.
Right.
That is really a part that's connected here. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, you could look at it from the standpoint of your health, because it does drain you on your health. Like if you're always constantly working and you like,
not in the karate business.
I got ulcers.
Karate business not like that, bro. Karate business is probably the best full-time, part-time job you'll ever have.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, it's the best full-time, part-time job you'll ever have.
What? Okay, explain that.
What are the hours of karate programs primarily? Between
4 and 8?
4 and 8. Yeah, 4 and 8. You go 4 and 8. That's fine. Ideally, 4 and 8. So now, if you actually run the school, maybe you have to be there 2 hours before for everything, prep and everything you got to do. Mm-hmm. If you want to work weekends, you can. You don't necessarily have to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, there's people like, you got some people in Georgia that's killing it, and they just be chilling.
Who are you talking about?
What?
Who are you talking about?
They're the prettiest people in the state of Georgia, but doing it like and like
I know a lot of pretty people.
Extremely part-time. Like, it's just like, man, I'm going in this, my man. Bro, I want what you got. I want that life. But you know what I mean? Like, it's probably one of the best part-time, full-time jobs you can have, or full-time, part-time jobs you can have. However,
so why is it full? I get why it's part-time. Why is it full-time?
Because you got to be committed to it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You have to be committed to what it is. Like that those part-time hours, you're locked in. Like, I mean, it's not like you're locked in. You're trying to help people really grow and develop and become the very best they can become. So you're locked into that mission and that commitment for that time. Not to say you don't, not to say if it's like 11 o'clock or 10:30, you're not still thinking about that, but you're not in that grind of making that wheel and that machine really just go. If that makes sense. Why, Chris, you can check on this. Why you let me talk on this, man? You talk on it, Chris. You sitting right there. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Because you're already saying it. What do you want me to say? The same experience?
Have me on this podcast sounding like a big old.
I'm not gonna lie.
You were just on the stage, bro. Why am I gonna talk, man? You on stage?
Yeah, you're right. You were just on stage. We're getting some of that.
Tell us about that growth.
Yeah, exactly. I have always said I'm going to open up a school once I decide where I want to actually live. I think that's kind of important. Me being there and actually deciding this is where I'm going to lay my head for the rest of my days. Because of that, like I'm like, okay, like you said, it's a full-time, part-time job. Like I could have like a day job and then come and just teach and then have some people doing promotions and doing everything. Huh? Yeah, no. That's what I'm saying. But mine's is more so. It's not even about the the money or the
Yeah.
business.
See, so you wouldn't be. So that's totally different, though, right?
Yeah, I know that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
Like
that's what
I
I'm
know
saying,
what
yeah.
my price points are going to be, what neighborhoods I want to be in, and what
Yeah.
I want to do, because it's not. There's a mission that goes with it for
The
me.
revenue doesn't. The
Right.
revenue doesn't drive your lifestyle. Your lifestyle is already created by whatever else that you're doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's why I was kind of like, okay, yeah, that's where I look at it. But I'm not knocking everybody else who does it the other way, and treats it like a true business, like you're supposed to. We got some other talks, some real talks that I'm not gonna put out here on the streets about certain things, but yeah, there's certain things that I much would have. Yeah, we'll talk about afterwards. Not gonna hint at anything because it's
Yeah.
that gets into another realm that I'm just not gonna talk about on people I don't know listening to it. So
Yeah.
but yeah, why you look perplexed? Like, wait, what?
You know, I don't understand this stuff. I don't get that. You know, I'm just like, what is it? What
You
is
wouldn't.
it?
No. Neither one of you guys would. It's something else. It's something completely different. But
All right.
yeah. Because I almost said something. I was like, I caught myself, and I was like, no, I'm not talking about that on this thing. But it is what it is. But yeah. Hey man, look, your battery about to die. We can get on here and get rid. We got 50 minutes, and that's good. With this weekend, make sure you guys stop by the booth for Martial Arts Center Network people. Make sure you come by. Make sure yeah, say hi and everything.
Get a
else.
shirt.
Yeah, get a shirt. Yeah, make sure. And if you guys have ideas of what you guys might want to see on the site, because we got a lot of different things going to be popping up. We're going to be featuring people. We're going to be featuring schools. We're going to be featuring, of course, our shows. So we got a lot of different things that we're going to be featuring. Touchdown Cowboys.
Sweet.
Hey, yeah. Everybody was. You know what? Here's the thing. I think they looked at it and said, they're going against Tampa Bay. This is they're supposed to win. They're probably not going to win because they're the Cowboys and they're going to let everybody down. And I think this is because everybody was expecting them to let everybody down. They're going to win. And it's not until they're supposed to, everybody's going to think that they're going to win. Then they'll be like, oh, dang. This is because I think they lose last week. I thought
you said we was leaving the show.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. Eagles.
I want to sit here and listen about Dallas. No, he bounced for real.
He bounced for real. He just dipped. He's still alive. He just wanted to stir the pot and rock out. Yeah,
yo, you got to stop the podcast, though. What are you doing?
Yeah, because otherwise I was just going to leave too.
No, that was not me. This just
what are you doing?
Oh, my internet. This StreamYard just kicked me off. It was like, yo, you ain't got no internet. You gone. I'm like, wait, what is happening?
But you started talking about the Cowboys, man.
I guess so. Hey, let me get out of here before this turns into a long, crazy thing, and I can't get back in here and end this show. But we'll see y'all this weekend, people. Make sure y'all go ahead and get your tickets for Virtual Fight Tour. Make sure y'all come and register and go to the Arctic Challenge and stop by AKAs and see us at the booth. We are out of here. Yeah. Guys, got anything that y'all want to say?
No.
Peace.
Bye. Oh, shoot. That's not the right button.